Now, I'm not here to ever tell you what to believe. As always, I'm just here to show you what's already being said out loud by the people the media swore would never say it. And as always, once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it.
That's why the black community don't never get fixed, because it requires a level of bravery to go against the mob and say what's right. That's the reason why y'all can't fix nothing in the community. That's why you can't fix baby mamaism, because the crowd agrees with it. The mob agrees with it. That's why you can't switch from a Democrat to something else, because the mob agrees with it. That's why
he said baby mamaism. Yeah, the mob definitely agrees. Now, that wasn't politics. That was just psychology. He's not saying people don't know what's wrong. He's saying fix it requires a social risk. I mean, speaking from experience, I definitely understand that. Democrats survive on one thing better than policy, and that's fear of isolation. Call you names, they'll strip you your identity, take your race card, or black card specifically, make disagreement feel like betrayal. And that pressure works until it doesn't. You know, because eventually someone decides the truth costs less than the silence does.
Hey y'all, I can't say it enough. I said in another video, but this is the 10th year that I am celebrating as a conservative. I became a conservative in 2016 while I was still living on the streets. I lived on the streets for 3 years, just surviving the streets. You know, they say anything outside of mainstream housing, like your car, you know, wherever you have to go is considered on the streets. And I survived that for 3 years. And then I got a street paper and I started writing for it and selling it and built myself up a little business. And I pulled myself up as the best I could by my own bootstraps. And I, in this very liberal town, published an article in a pretty strong liberal paper about why I voted for Trump. I was afraid I was going to lose street sales. I did lose a few, but not enough to really matter. And now I'm trying to publish my own magazine. And yes, I am revising and getting ready to send out my book, A Homeless Vote for Trump. Hey, revising and getting ready to send out my ebook, A Homeless Vote for Trump. And I'm working on something right now that I hope I can get done as my own publishing company, not anyone else. But it is a real look from somebody who's been inside of this at how liberal policies are failing, have failed miserably, and how it's virtually a trap, basically a trap for people living inside. So Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful year, and I will be talking to you soon. Peace.
Now, notice what she didn't say. She didn't say a politician saved her. She didn't say a program lifted her up. She said clarity did. That's the part Democrats hate the most, right? Lived experience that doesn't end with gratitude. And what's wild is once you step outside, you know, the system, you start seeing how much of your life was quietly exposed without realizing it. I know I'm interrupting right now, but you really need to hear this. You know about them spam calls and text messages that you annoyed at getting? Yeah, you want to know why you're getting them? Sit tight, I got you. You see, what's happening is these big tech companies, they're not doing a good job of keeping our data safe. I feel like they're not even trying. Did you know that Bank of America recently had a breach where a vendor mishandled documents exposing customer data like social security numbers? And could you believe that they didn't inform you about this because they felt like it wasn't a good time for them to do it? They waited maybe even a year to inform you. What's also included in that stolen data is full names, addresses, email addresses, your credit card information. And I don't want nobody having that much on me. And this is why I have to bring to your attention the sponsor of today's video, Aura.com. You see, Aura alerts me if my data is ever breached, giving me fast fraud alerts and removes my info from data broker websites to cut down on spam. Aura also offers transaction monitoring, VPN, antivirus protection, parental controls, and identity theft insurance, all in one affordable app. Listen, if my info was ever compromised, I wouldn't even worry about it because I know I got Aura in the back keeping me safe. And this is why I can no longer allow yourself or your family to stay unprotected. So in order to ensure that protection, I'm going to need you to head over to aura.com/kingdomreacts right now, where you can get your first 2 weeks for free. You heard that right. And I'll do you one better. The link will be in the description waiting on you. Now, this is Brandon Tatum challenging the Democratic history with Stephen A. Smith.
Is that your way of saying that you felt the left did that to us, that they just disregarded black folks?
Stephen A., they've been giving us the middle finger since I can remember. All the way back from the Ku Klux Klan. They have never supported black people whatsoever. They hoodwinked us into getting us on food stamps and getting us with government assistance, having us to abandon our own success. We had our own bus line. We had our own schools. We had all this stuff. They tricked us into believing that the white man was the cure to our own issues.
Okay.
They tricked us. And then now look at us, Stephen A. They don't have to bid for our vote. They got our vote hook, line, and sinker.
Well,
so they're never going to do nothing for us.
That part I get. But when you say they did nothing, I'm thinking about civil rights legislation. I'm thinking about infrastructure. I'm thinking about Jim Crow laws, the eradication of it. I'm thinking about the access to capital that was given that black folks had. Dated from the 60s and beyond that we didn't have before that. Are you saying that's the Republicans?
That's Republican, unanimous Republican votes for the civil rights. The Democrats filibustered the Civil Rights Act, the longest filibuster in history until Booker just did what he did. Mm-hmm. But the Democrats were not in support of that. That was the Republican Party that was in support of that. And then let's go down the list. If these things were benefiting black people, why are we still complaining today? We've been voting for Democrats for, 40, 50 years now, lockstep, and we still complaining. We still don't have the rights that we want. We still don't have equality in America. Racism is still plaguing our community, according to black people. So what have they been doing this whole time? And when you look at it, they have just secured our vote, and they don't have to do nothing for us. And this is what we've created, Stephen A. Mm-hmm. We've created an environment where we don't benefit from none of it because the Democrats don't have to work because they know I already got us. The Republicans don't need to work because they can win without us.
I've been saying that.
Ooh, yeah. That pause from Stephen A., that wasn't disagreement. That was collision. That's what happens when branding is history. Branding. Anyhow, if you know, you know. Democrats don't argue facts here. They argue feelings about facts always, right? And when the spell breaks, even for a second, even for a minuto. What did I add an extra syllable to that? But you can see the panic.
Listen, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the only niggas who are even entertaining this motherfucking against ICE shit is broke niggas. Broke niggas, bro. These niggas are bums. These are bum niggas. You know what I'm saying? Niggas that play the game, and I'm talking about look at anime, them just bullshit type niggas, bro. Niggas that goddamn fuck with weird white bitches like them. Like, come on, bro. Like, hey, bro. Real niggas will never align with these weirdos. Like, these are weirdos and bums and fucking white trash, bro. Just to be honest, white trash. Listen.
Whoa. Obviously, you know, there's some racism, I guess, right? Now I'm calling it just what it is. But no, why you call out anime like that, man? You know, why we get it straight like that? Like, huh? I ain't no bum. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball Z all day. You know, I even got the. Let me stop acting like a leftist. I'm over acting like a leftist. He done triggered me. But this is where the narrative really cracks because, you know, the left, they love to pretend that, you know, chaos is compassion. But when working people start separating themselves from the madness, that's not right-wing propaganda. That's quite literally execution. Now, here's the warning that these leftists keep getting, or the Democrats keep getting, but they choose to ignore.
I can't believe it. You guys are so close of having the Insurrection Act be invoked. So close. 10 USC is probably going to be invoked in a couple days. Oh, you are not going to like it because guess what?
What?
You're invoking that. You're causing all consequences for all Minnesotans. And the people that are not protesting, rioting, are gonna suffer the consequences too. So, before you guys want to do any more stupid stuff, like you are, think about the consequences that are coming. you're going to affect every Minnesotan. So grow up and stop acting like children.
Oh, fine. Oh, my fault, y'all. Y'all know how this goes with me with the music. I can't help it. The music always get me, man. Democrats, they love activism until consequences show up early. This isn't fear-mongering. This is what happens when leadership replaces law with their little slogans. Now, this pastor said he done had enough. Hey, yo, Don Lemon, hey, try that with me.
Don Lemon, don't come here. You roll up in this church doing stuff like that, and it's going to be the Royal Rumble. And the funny thing is, I'm not joking. We have worked hard. We built the church in the name of the Lord. We dedicated it to the Lord. It's built for worship. Our blood, sweat, tears, and finances are in this place. And some people who have never darkened the door of a church and never contributed one dime to it, gonna roll up in here and disturb our service and scare our children and shout obscenities in the church. That will not stand in this church. Freedom of speech doesn't extend to going into someone else's house of worship. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Them people know that. That's why you never see them going into a mosque, because they know the Muslims ain't having that. I'm not a Muslim, but we ain't having that. And the Bible teaches that we serve a God who teaches our hands to war and our fingers to fight. That's Bible. And these are the times in which we live. No respect for the house of God. All we want our sisters to do is just get out the way. He gets ready to throw a punch, don't grab his arm. Let the Lord have his way, and they'll know not to ever do that again. Say amen.
My boy said, hey, I'm going to warn you real quick, Don Lemon, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want this to be made into lemonade, I'm just saying. He said, this is going to be a lemonade stand up here, my boy. That wasn't hate at all, y'all. If you ask me, that was just boundaries. Something the left pretends, is violence. Unless they're the ones enforcing it, of course.
If you want to fix Minneapolis, all you have to do is make sure that Tim Walz is put behind bars, make sure Jacob Fry is arrested, and make sure that the police chief is fired in Minneapolis. That's it. Get rid of all of them. The second thing you need to do is you need to understand that this leadership that is there right now, they propagandated this. Instead of pushing for peace, instead of pushing for the right to assemble, they have incited this. And because of local law enforcement not being able to keep these propagandated, radicalized people away from ICE, this is going to continue to happen. Because these people who have been radicalized do not have the ability to understand that ICE is there to do a job to make sure that the people are safe. And so the people that have committed crimes against us that have came from other countries are now being able to be protected by these people that are sitting there thinking that they're doing the right thing. And so Tim Walz has decided that he's going to activate the National Guard. And if you don't understand the power of a governor, the governor is the most powerfulest person in the state. They have the ability to influence, and they have the ability to make sure that they work with laws and get bills passed. Tim Walz is a very powerful person, and that's why he needs to go and resign. Because under his watch, there have been 2 people that have been unalived. He can blame Trump, but Trump is not there. Who's there? He is there. Jacob Fry is there. The leadership of that the police chief, he's there. Hold them accountable. Get them out of there. Put some conservatives in there. And guess what? In a week, this thing will be taken care of. Because the law enforcement needs to be able to do their job. And they cannot do their job. As a matter of fact, they're sitting there nowhere to be seen. How do you have all these protesters going out against ICE and you have no local law enforcement? This is all because of Tim Walz. This is all because Jacob Fry, and this is all because they have a police chief that refuses to do his job and fight back. They need to be arrested. They need to go. They should be doing, the people there should be putting lawsuits against them.
Seriously.
That's how you fix it.
You do not want to be Tim Walz right now. And us on the conservative side of things, when are the arrests going to happen is where we stand right now. That's how we feeling. And here's where it stops being abstract. Democrats love systems, right? They do. Until you name the people running them.
First off, that 51-year-old that was shot in Minneapolis was not shot by ICE, he was shot by Custom Border Patrol, and the reason he was getting targeted in the first place was because he had a warrant out for violent assault. The suspect had a handgun and 2 magazines on him, and when he was confronted by federal agents, obviously he didn't comply. Mistake number 1. If you watch the video, the suspect is hunched over on his knees. How did the officers know he's not reaching for the gat to start letting loose? Obviously he's a violent individual. They don't know what he's capable of. I mean, it's common sense. Before the suspect was able to let loose on the officers, one of the officers let loose on him. As he should. If that man laid down and put his hands on his back like he was instructed to do, he would be alive and breathing right now. Simple. This was not a public execution. Federal agents aren't targeting citizens at random. They were taking a dangerous individual off the street. Then it went left. Tim Walz sent a request to the president talking about all federal agents should evacuate the city immediately. You only want the federal agents gone before they unmask all the fraud that you let go on. A lot of fraud, by the way. It is sad that a life was lost. However, if he complied, he would be alive. Keep it up, Donald Trump. Ow!
So this is the debate over compliance and accountability. Now, this clip makes people angry on purpose, not because it's simple, but because it forces responsibility back into the conversation. That's a word that, of course, they do not like. The left can't survive accountability. That's why they keep changing the subject.
It's like Minnesota is our crackhead cousin. You know, she was out in the street acting a darn fool a few years ago. And so we grabbed her up and sent her to the George Floyd Rehab Center. And we thought she was doing well. We thought she was rehabilitated. But no. Turns out she was stealing from us. Yeah, we have to hide our purses from her now because she's so fraudulent. Just full of fraud, like a crackhead. Yeah, she's back out in the street acting a darn fool. Yeah, she's out there just looking for a hit, like Renee Good. So sad. She's out there acting like she was before she went to George Floyd Rehabilitation Center. Back then, she was selling her body to BLM, but now she's selling herself to pirates. Oh, it just gets worse and worse. It's like Minnesota is our crackhead.
Yeah. Now, satire lands when denial is exhausted, right? And that's where we are now. Excuse me. This didn't come from all Republicans. This didn't come from, Trump rallies. This came from people who were told they never question it, or to never question it, rather. Media didn't expose this. They quite literally try to smother this type of stuff. I just lined it up so you can see it breathe. That's all I'm here to do, y'all. Now, if you made it to the end, I want you to comment something very simple. I ain't got nothing creative today. I just want you to put, I saw the pattern. That way I know who actually watched. Other than that, y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today because you can quite literally be saving their life.